and welcome. Wheel-Trans is a division of the Toronto Transit Commission. It provides accessible transit for persons with physical disabilities living in the Toronto area, utilizing accessible buses, contracted vans, and sedan taxis.
In the summertime it's nice because I can wheel down the street to my bus stop. I can take the regular bus just mostly to the next subway station, and I can, because I wheel fairly well. But in the wintertime there's very limited options for me, and I'm very, very limited to what I can do by myself. So Wheel-Trans really is my #1 choice, and they help me out a lot with getting me to go shopping for food, get to my appointments, get to work. Good morning. I'm good, how are you? We're going to work. Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital. Well, the journey starts off at home, getting on the bus, and usually the driver will tell you whether there's any pickups on the way or if it's a direct ride. So I come prepared because you never know if it's going to be a short ride or a long ride. So if it's a long ride, I have a few things that I prepare myself with. So I either have a book or I do my knitting and crocheting on the bus. I have my music to listen to. And sometimes I end up finding out that I ride with a few friends on the way. So you never know what you're going to get until you get on the bus. Back home is Poland, and they don't have accessible transit, they don't have Wheel-Trans, they don't have accessible taxis, they don't have accessible buses, subways. So what would my life look like? I don't know. It's an unknown that was something that my family was not willing to risk. And I think that coming to Canada was the best and most phenomenal choice, and sacrifice that my family made for me to give me a life and to give me a future. Of course there's going to be days when even I'm angry that a bus is late because I have a doctor's appointment that I have to get to that is once a year, and I have to make that appointment. And if the bus is late and I miss that appointment, I don't know if I'm going to have to wait another year for another one. Of course, we're all going to be frustrated at certain times, but I tend to look at the bigger picture of the whole situation because, again, if I was back home, would I have gotten to that appointment at all? There wouldn't be a choice for me to stay on hold for 25 minutes to try and get a ride tomorrow. There wouldn't be an opportunity for me to sit by the window and wait for a bus that's maybe 20 minutes late to get me to work. Would I be working? Would I even get to work? Would I have a job? Would I have the independence and a life at all? I don't know. So when they are late, I look at all that, and when I can't get a ride to the mall to meet my friends because there's no rides available for the next day, I think of that. So you have to weigh it out. You have to look at the bigger picture and have a better perspective of what we have and what other people in other countries will maybe never have.
Currently, Wheel-Trans has 41,000 customers that we serve. This year we'll provide approximately 3 million trips. That's a rather significant growth over the last number of years. When I started with Wheel-Trans in 1994, we had approximately 9,000 customers, and as I said, we now have 41,000 customers, so it's pretty significant growth.
Left off a Keele, so you're on the east side.
On any given day on a 10-hour shift, it could range anywhere from 16 to 20 pickups, drops during the course of a day. Even the 13-hour days, which we have as well down here, you know, you could be up to 30, 20, 30, 35 in a day. You know, so you're kept going. You know, you're pretty steady throughout the whole day. Most of the customers we deal with are just fantastic. There's very limited few that, yeah, they think that, you know, this service is specifically just for them, and, you know, when they get on the vehicle, they're always questioning you, am I the only one going? And, you know, I just want to go to where I want to go. Don't worry about the other people. I can understand with some of them, yeah, they've had a hard life. And, you know, they're just trying to tolerate everything, and you could be that first person of the day and they're not having a good day. And you just have to go with them. You know, maybe get them off the topic. You know, you have to put yourself in their position. Even when you're driving the vehicle, they say, oh, it's too bumpy, it's hurting me. You have to understand that you don't know the pain that they're actually going through at the time. Other than that, the customers are great. I mean, they're just so happy to see you, to get there, even if you're late. I mean, it does happen. You know, there's traffic conditions, there's weather conditions. We get there, we get them where they're going.
Typically what we see are persons that have permanent mobility restrictions, persons using wheelchairs, scooters, in some case canes, walkers. Basically what we're looking at is a customer that can't use a set of stairs, that can't walk long distances, that has challenges just getting around within the community.
Do you need help or are you okay?
Ours is strictly based on physical functional mobility, so it's only physical disabilities that we consider. We don't consider cognitive, we don't consider other challenges, visual, are not part of our application process, because if you think about it, if someone has a cognitive or a visual disability, they can still walk, they can still transport, they can still use a conventional service. A Wheel-Trans customer or a person that wishes to qualify for Wheel-Trans goes through a interview with a outside agency. The agency interviews the customer, and it's all based on your physical functional mobility, how you get around in the community, how you get around in your home, the permanency of your disability. Each interviewer has a series of questions that they ask. Everybody is scored on 140 points. If a person has 60 points, they qualify for Wheel-Trans. If you don't have 60 points, then we send you information on how you can get about on the conventional service and use the accessible features that are available there.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it. You don't want to do it? Come on.
No, I'm not going today.
You're not going today? Okay.
Currently it costs us about $30 a trip to provide a trip for a Wheel-Trans customer. A Wheel-Trans customer pays the basic TTC fare, so you can use a Metro Pass, a subway token, you can pay a cash fare of $3. So when you net it all out, basically the citizens of Toronto are paying $27 to supplement the service that we're providing. As time goes on, needless to say, as the baby boomers get older, we expect that the demand for Wheel-Trans service will certainly increase. Certainly what we're trying to do is convince our customers to move over to the conventional side. The TTC has spent literally billions of dollars making the system accessible. It still has some way to go. Where all our bus routes are currently fully accessible, our subway is still got a few years to go. We expect that will be done by 2025, where it will be fully accessible, and our streetcar routes as well. And we hope that we can offset the growth in demand by giving our customers the freedom to use the conventional side so that they don't have to book a trip a day in advance.
We continue our look at the Toronto Transit Commission's Accessible Transportation Division, Wheel-Trans.
Altogether, Wheel-Trans has about 500 staff. It's broken down into, I'll say, 3 different sections, what I call the administration area. That involves our reservationists, which you see behind me, our dispatchers in that group, and it also involves our planning section, our customer service section. Altogether, there's about 70 people involved in that group. We have approximately 350, 360 people that are involved in our transportation, and they are our bus drivers, the support staff for our bus drivers, and the rest of the folks are all involved in our maintenance section. There's folks that are responsible to make sure that the buses are clean, safe, properly maintained.
Did you want the Coxwell entrance?
Right now we're in our reservation section, and these folks are booking trips for customers that are traveling for tomorrow.
Now, as far as your ride or request for tomorrow is concerned, on behalf of yourself and your companion, pickup will be between 11:45 and 12:15.
Basically, we're dealing with altogether about 10,000 trips a day. Calls coming into our call center range from about 3,500 to 4,000. Rest of the trips are either pre-planned trips, pre-booked trips as we call them, or are booked through the internet or through our interactive voice response system. So for tomorrow we're booking about 10,000 calls or 10,000 trips.
You're going to make your own way over to St. Mike's at the Queen Street entrance, and we'll pick you up from there between 2:30 and 3 to take you home. All right?
In the previous section, what they're dealing with is primarily they're dealing with all of our customers that are booking trips for tomorrow. The folks that are working in this section are dealing with everybody that is actually traveling today. So as people travel during the day, their needs change. For instance, if you go to a doctor's appointment and your doctor's appointment is late, they're going to call us and say, I need my trip changed. We need to be able to react to that, to be able to adjust trips so that customers can get to and from their appointments or to and from their schools. For instance, if there is an accident on the 401, well, needless to say, that's going to impact all of our customers because every vehicle that we have that happens to be traveling in that area is going to be slowed down. Vehicles will become late. Once vehicles become late, our goal is to try and get our customers picked up on time or as close to time as we possibly can, so we have to make all kinds of service adjustments in order to do that. That's what these folks do. They also deal with any emergencies that may happen on our service. So for instance, if somebody becomes sick, they'll react to the driver by providing them with all the emergency services, ambulances, fire department, police if it's required. They will deal with just about anything that's going on out on the street right now.
Can you stay for a little bit? I started as a driver. I drove the bus for 18 years. Then I came up and went into reservations for a year. And then I came over to dispatch the last 3 years, a bit over here. Sending this to number 7. Basically, we maintain the service. This is kind of the hub of the whole operation. We keep the buses running on time. We move calls. We talk to customers if they cancel a ride or they're stuck or stranded somewhere. We have to find them a call. And basically just keep everything rolling along. Gets a little hairy in here. It's very busy, and you got 150 odd buses and stuff on the road, so yeah, it gets busy.
Over the course of the day, we'll make somewhere in the neighborhood of about 700 to 800 service adjustments during the course of the day, and that's moving customers from one vehicle to another. So when you take a look, you've got 5 or 6 people behind me that are making all of those adjustments. That's a pretty huge task when you think about it, and it's not only just receiving the information, it's also getting the information out to the vehicles that are out there about the changes that are happening.
There's several things that will always make life easier for you, and there's things that will make things easier for the drivers and the reservationists and everything. So, for example, you have to, when you're calling in, you have to be prepared with your address of where you're going, the times, the intersections of where the address is. It makes it easier for the reservationist to book the ride. It makes it quicker. They have thousands of phone calls coming in constantly. So you want to be quick, and they have to be quick. Also, there's a 5-minute policy of the pickup for the bus. So if your pickup is at 10 and you're not there, they have to leave by 5 after 10. So you need to know that, and you need to prepare yourself that, okay, well, if I have a 10 o'clock pickup, then I should be there 15 minutes earlier for the driver and be ready. So you plan your day. You have to plan your day properly, and that helps everybody, right?
99% of them are very appreciative of us being there, picking them up. They're ready. A lot of times you get there and some of these customers will be waiting a half an hour, just sitting there. They know that, okay, when the operator gets here, we're going